Hey fellow Earth Angels, Starseeds, chosen ones of God, empath and sensitive people out there who are watching my videos, reading my posts, who have already been my clients. Thank you to new clients, new possible clients, of course, as well. I'm here only for you guys. I'm not here for anyone else. I see so much traffic sometimes coming in and out, like people are curious, I guess, what it is that I'm doing. But again, just a reminder that I'm only here for my soul sisters, soul brothers, serving women and men from all over the world, Finnish and English speaking clients. And I've been doing this for a decade, and I've had thousands of lovely clients online and offline. So here's a bit of a message that's coming. So my mission is to talk about domestic violence issues, narcissistic abuse issues. I'm a life coach. I'm a solution-focused, solution-based therapist from Finland, Finnish woman, a mother, a cat owner, cat mama as well, motivational speaker, truth speaker. And so what's really coming to me today is, as I'm always a vessel working for God, channeling information. So what's coming through today is really about kindness, because people who do not respect us, who are loyal and kind, good people, they have no respect for us. And we can feel that in a very, very painful manner. So again, of course, they are not also being friendly. They are not being constructive towards us when they are doing that. Because when we have grown up in dysfunctional, toxic, narcissistic family systems, in toxic homes, it means that we have grown up to have normalized abusive treatment, disrespect, bullying, harassment, any kinds of, domestic violence, because that is, again, what it is. And as adults, we have to acknowledge these things for what they are and not be trying to paint them with flowers anymore, because that is what we've been doing for our entire lives. So we have to wake up eventually and really start to comprehend, what is this all about? What am I allowing in my own life as an adult? So you might still have these moments where you can stop and think to yourself, wait, how am I feeling exactly about this situation or about this person? Because naturally we're very sensitive, deep feeling, introverted, deep thinker people. So it can raise a lot of thoughts and feelings, emotions in you if your trauma gets triggered again in the present day and you are still encountering these disrespectful people. And you are like, what am I doing? What am I going to do about this? What is this about, etc.? You can go through so many sorts of feelings, emotions, thoughts, questions in your mind. And of course, my work is here to be answering those questions. So again, as I've been saying many times, we can encounter so many different sorts of lessons in life. So again, it can be a boundary lesson. It can be a lesson of your self-worth and value. It can be a lesson of how do you actually take care of yourself? How do you actually perceive yourself and your life? Because again, everything starts within ourselves. We do have the power to be in charge. We have to be in charge of our own lives. Of course, trust God. Yes. Of course, pray every single day. Yes. But you also have to trust yourself. What are you doing with your life if you don't know yourself, if you do not love yourself, if you do not operate from that? But the problem can usually be that when you have normalized so much disrespect and these people have not been kind, they have not been friendly, they have not been trustworthy, stable people who you have been encountering. So if this is still happening in the present day, then of course it can feel like you're just going over that and over that and over that in your mind and in your body, and you have absorbed their toxic, immature, negative energy, which belongs to them, not to you. But these are huge issues. That is why I can help you, of course, in my one-on-one sessions. Also, my self-help books in Finnish and English will help if you need more honest, empathetic guidance and support. Because, again, as a bullying survivor myself, as a kind, sensitive person, as a kind, sensitive woman who I am, I have to speak my truth straight up as God has called me to do. And that is why I'm here to do my work, to help my people. And so, again, if this resonates with you, then you have to do something about this issue, because you can. Those narcissists have wanted to make you think that you're powerless, that you should always play small, etc. Like you have no power within you, like you are basically nothing, because that's what they want. They want you to be their slave. So, do you really want that sort of a life for yourself? I don't think so. Because if we are always extending ourselves, we are ruminating, overthinking, overanalyzing, having sleepless nights over these issues when someone has been unkind, unfriendly towards us. And again, it doesn't matter where it is. It can be anyone, anywhere, anytime, any place. So it can be a shock and it can be a trauma trigger. So of course, it's an invitation for you to really support yourself again in those situations. Because you can. You might feel like you cannot help yourself, but you can. I had to do that for myself because I had no help around. So yes, you can too. Personally, I don't like it when people are underestimating me or misunderstanding me all the time. And I do believe that, if you're one of my soul people, you can resonate with these feelings and thoughts and experiences. Because, of course, it's natural to eventually be fed up with these sorts of behaviors from people. Because of course, it's not our choice that they are acting that way. And we can only do our best. So we are not supposed to be stretching ourselves all the time, like seriously, just going over these incidents in our minds and then forgetting ourselves. Because we are abandoning ourselves in those processes if we are too attached to those. Because of course, if you focus on something that really doesn't serve you, you're always abandoning yourself. You're always forgetting about your own needs. You're too focused on those things that are about other people. But, the truth is, again, that we cannot control other people. We can manifest and pray for things. Yes, we can create a lot. We're supposed to be creating our own reality, our own life. Yes, of course, as adults, we're supposed to be in charge. Yes, and that is what I can help you with in my sessions. But just, a reminder that, that is just a fact. That we cannot force people to heal and change and respect us. We can only do our best in these situations. And, of course, if you listen to God, if you ask from God, He would say the same thing. And if you ask from your angels, they would say the same thing. That, we're not here to be suffering endlessly, because we're here to help others. We also deserve respect and support and help. In the same way. if people don't reciprocate respect, attention, love, care, empathy, kindness, then, they're not our people. It's my firm opinion, my truth, that I had to learn the painful way on my own. That we cannot be chasing after people, we should not be chasing after people and their validation. And again, we have to always strive to trust ourselves, our intuition. If someone has a tone of voice that is negative, someone is emitting that negative energy, they're not simply worthy of our time. Because we cannot mix kindness and openness and vulnerability with cold people, coldness, cold, negative, toxic, immature, controlling energy, narcissistic energy and behavior treatment. No, it just does not mix. It's always going to be triggering the trauma. If you are already a narcissistic abuse survivor since childhood, a bullying survivor, you have been the family scapegoat. These issues, these incidents are always going to be poking on that trauma. So of course, yes, it can be another boundary lesson or a lesson to simply trust and listen to yourself more first. Listen to your intuition. If something again feels off, you will notice it. You will feel it. You will sense it, that there's something off with this job or with this person or with this situation or whatever the thing is. Because there will always be some sort of signs when something is shady, something is untrustworthy. Someone has narcissistic traits, for example, their own agenda. They just want to use and abuse you, take advantage of you. So, of course, we have to protect our own energy and our mental health and sanity. And I think that it's also important to remind ourselves when someone is being disrespectful. These are typical signs. They make us feel like they are walking all over us. That our opinion, our boundaries, our feelings, our emotions, whatever we say, whatever we express in those situations, they seem to walk all over that. Like, for example, you make a statement, you say something that I think this is like this, and then they are immediately walking all over that sentence. They are like, no, that doesn't matter, no. Like their opinion is better, like it matters more than your opinion in that situation. So that is also disrespect. They are not respecting you enough to let you speak up. So at least from my personal experience as a sensitive, empath, highly sensitive woman, earth angel woman, I've had to learn the hard way to trust myself more, trust my intuition more in situations so that I could avoid those kinds of situations better, where I'm being, again, disrespected and bullied. We have to know when to be quiet. We have to know when to ignore. We have to know when to be silent. We have to know when to set a boundary. We have to know when to step away and when. Like, for example, hang up on a phone call and not argue with someone who already has a negative tone of voice, for example. Because they can easily provoke you if that phone call is continuing. So we have to pay attention to these things. So as the Bible says, don't cast pearls before swine. And, it is a powerful lesson to learn. It's a boundary lesson as well. It's a lesson of self-worth and self-value, especially as a sensitive woman, because there are these men around who do not respect women, simply. They do not respect women. Of course, there are women as well. There are even children who do not respect adults. Of course, yes, that happens. But again, what we have to do is we have to protect our own energy and sanity and health and what matters to us. We still have to set have to set those boundaries and speak up and speak our truth and say, no, this is not okay. This is not working for me. You cannot disrespect me like that. My opinion matters as well, and not be over-explaining ourselves. So it's really also a boundary lesson of not being too open, not be leaking your energy, your kindness, your friendliness, your openness, your vulnerability to those wrong people who only hurt you. If their tone of voice is already negative when you start to talk to them, if they seem very, very low vibrational, you have to trust yourself, you have to trust your intuition and just let it go, block them off. Delete that conversation. Hang up on them. Just completely blocked off, because it's not doing you any good. You have to love yourself. Setting those healthy boundaries and speaking your truth, speaking up when you need to, is also loving and honoring yourself. That you are not abandoning yourself when you need yourself the most. And again, having the guts, having the courage, having the bravery to speak up and set that boundary no matter what. We are not responsible for adult people. We should not be always trying to teach adults how to act, how to treat us. That should not be our job. Likely we have been so parentified as children that we might still be doing that, but it's still not okay. As an adult, I'm just here to remind you, as your coach, I'm here to remind you to stop doing that. It's a learning process. Everything's a learning process. What kind of boundaries are you setting with people? What are you saying and when? What are you allowing in your life? If you need more help and support, apply to work with me one-on-one.